Just from a high level, I think it's great that they're iterating. I mean, that's the most important thing. Is it's difficult for a publicly traded company to be bold and make changes, but that's what you have to do in this business, and so I applaud them for that. And there may be many more changes to come. From my perspective, I'm looking at Twitter now, in decades, and I think that I have every confidence that Twitter is going to be a timeless company of enduring value, and in order to do that, there's a lot of work ahead of them, and that involves making big, bold changes when necessary.
Right.
So.
I've talked to Dick about what they're working on, the experiments they're running to try to make Twitter more user-friendly.
Just try stuff.
But some people say Twitter is still more of a niche product, and it's never going to be as big as Facebook or bigger than Facebook. Do you think it will be?
I think it'll be really big. I think, people tend to think of Twitter, it's like, I've always said, you don't have to know how to code a website to use the internet. You don't have to necessarily tweet in order to be considered a person who uses Twitter.
Right.
Like, you see tweets everywhere. You see them on TV, you see them on ads, you see them everywhere. You look, right? And so I think it's just a matter of seeing, like, how do you think about Twitter being used? And it's not just about composing a tweet. It's about consumption of all of this fantastic content that exists on Twitter. So unlocking that, I think, will be, and freeing that is something going forward that Twitter, has a really great opportunity ahead of it.
A lot of people compare Facebook and Twitter, and I know they're very different.
Obviously lump them. They always lump them together.
But I have to ask you about the acquisitions that Facebook's making: WhatsApp, Oculus virtual reality. What do you think of all that?
Well, I'm not a Facebook expert. I have no idea what I've never worked there.
Does it make sense to you?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, acquisitions are M&A is for different reasons, right? I mean, they're making bets on what's next, or they're picking up great talent, or they're
are they good bets?
Who knows? That's the whole nature of a bet, right? Like, you don't know. But, if they have the means and they have the drive, why not?
So Twitter, let's see, up 65% since the IPO, down 40% from the peak.
Right.
How much do you follow the stock price?
I don't follow it. It's like, they tell you when you're trying to lose weight, you don't look at the scale every day, right? Because it's going to go up and down, and you're going to go like, oh, no, today I'm fat today. Oh, no. You got to look at this, again, you got to take it way back, and you just got to think, like, long term. Is this going to be a company of enduring value? And when I see that all kinds of different people in all kinds of different industries are getting value out of Twitter, then I know that it's going to be a valuable company. People are getting value out of it. Organizations are getting value out of it. Television networks are getting value out of it. Regular, everyday people are getting value out of it. When there's value being created, you have something there.
So maybe you're not watching the stock price every day.
No.
Maybe some employees are, though, paying closer attention to it. There is a lockup period expiring in a few weeks.
That's stressful when you do that,
But do you worry about the employees, insiders selling off?
I don't know. I don't worry about. I mean, the honest answer is I don't worry about that at all. I have complete faith in the deep executive bench we built at Twitter, the incredibly talented team that is in place there. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I felt like it was appropriate and I was comfortable leaving day to day because the right people are in the right spots. So there's no worrying for me.
How about this inequality debate, which Twitter has become a target of, and the whole...
Oh, in San Francisco.
Right, the whole tax break thing, the protests against the Google buses, they're protesting Twitter in a week.
Yeah.
And this is, what people say is a widening disparity between the haves and the have-nots in the city of San Francisco.
Yeah, and also, by the way, in the United States.
Right.
But
what is Twitter's
we're focusing here. Well, again, I've left day-to-day operations, so I don't have authority to speak on what Twitter's responsibility is. But, I'm starting to look into this now, just personally, and I'm trying to get involved with leaders in various tech industries and some nonprofits that are trying to do work in this space. It just seems to me that in a boom time, when so much, when so many jobs are being created and there's so much energy and there's so much life happening, it should be good for everyone. And if it's not, then what can we do to fix that? And I don't think it's not a weekend solution. A lot of different people have to get together and think long term about how to make this work. But it seems to me that there's got to be, a way to solve this puzzle. It shouldn't be a bad thing.
So, questions from the Jellyverse.
Okay.
I got 15 responses within seconds to my questions,
Fantastic.
so it's working.
Good.
Arjun Agarwal asks, when are you going to merge Jelly with Twitter?
When am I going to merge? Well, it's already working with Twitter. I mean, we work with Twitter and Facebook. We actually blend the two networks together, and that's one of the ways that we get the answers. I'm not sure. Does he mean?
I guess he's probably asking, are you ever going to sell? Do you want to? Is this long term?
No plans.
For you?
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to build. Jelly is a company we're trying to build. Work on for the next several decades. I mean, this is what I'm doing now. So I'm not planning. There's no sell date.
Okay. What are current use cases, and what do you envision as the best use cases for the future?
Well, so far we've noticed 3 kind of canonical use cases. We've seen recommendations are big because
I've used it for that.
It's going out to people in your network, so that's good, right? It's trusted people. We've seen, obviously, because there's a camera involved, we've seen a lot of identification type of questions, like just what is this thing? Like what kind of, is this snake poisonous? And then we see troubleshooting type questions, like people are taking pictures of the back of their, TiVo or something,
right.
and they're saying like, how do I set this up? And people then use their finger and they just draw and they say like, well, you got this in the wrong place. You got to put this here and this there, and it's just great. So those are the kind of the 3 we're seeing. Recommendations, I think, is really breaking out.
Right.
It's increasing. We just introduced being able to ask with maps, and,
right, I saw
that's
that.
just exploding because it's just a really great way of asking a question. We feel like we just redesigned the interface for composing a question. We really feel like we've designed a better way to ask a question now.